Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Pistons blow lead, still eke out OT win over Heat. Malik Beasley had a season-high 28 points, Cade Cunningham supplied a triple-double, and the host Detroit Pistons topped the Miami Heat 125-124 in overtime on Monday night. Cunningham had 20 points, 18 assists, and 11 rebounds for Detroit, which squandered a 19-point, fourth-quarter lead. Ausar Thompson contributed 19 points, and Tim Hardaway Jr. tossed in 16, hitting 3 consecutive three-pointers in overtime. Jimmy Butler produced 35 points, 19 rebounds, and 10 assists for the Heat, who had their 4-game winning streak end. Tyler Herro scored 23 points, and Bam Adebayo added 15 points and 8 boards. The Pistons played without 2 starters. Tobias Harris was sidelined by a thumb injury, while Jaden Ivey was a late scratch due to left knee pain. Adebayo converted an alley-oop for the first points of overtime, beginning an 8-0 run. Hardaway then erupted with 3 three-pointers off Cunningham assists to give Detroit a 123-122 lead. Butler's putback was answered by a Cunningham layup. After a Herro miss, Detroit committed a turnover. Herro then missed a 3-point attempt just before the buzzer. Detroit led by as much as 15 points in the first half, despite committing 13 turnovers. The Pistons settled for a 63-59 halftime advantage as Beasley scored 13 points. The Pistons came out flying after the break, scoring the first 9 points of the half. Detroit's lead was 97-81 entering the fourth. When Cunningham knocked down a three-pointer with 8:39 remaining, the Pistons were up by 19 again. Miami scored the next 6 points. The Heat finally cut the Pistons' lead to single digits with 2:52 remaining when Herro drained a three-pointer off a Pistons turnover. Rozier's layup with 2:25 left after a Cunningham miss made it 112-106. Following a Pistons shot clock violation, Herro made another three-pointer to cut Detroit's lead to 3. Another empty Detroit possession led to a Butler layup with 1:10 remaining. Cunningham made 2 free throws with 11.5 seconds left for a 114-111 Pistons lead. Herro then made a three-pointer from the wing with 5 seconds left to send the game into overtime. Pistons top Heat in overtime, Nuggets edge Kings. The Pistons had looked to be in full control in Detroit, holding an 18-point lead with 8:05 left in the fourth quarter. But the Heat roared back, knotting the score at 114-114 on Tyler Herro's three-pointer with 5.2 seconds left in regulation. Cunningham came up empty on a potential game winner, and the Heat scored the first 8 points of the extra session before Hardaway delivered 3 straight three-pointers to put the Pistons ahead 123-122. Jimmy Butler's putback layup put Miami back on top by 1, but Cunningham's banked-in shot gave the Pistons a 125-124 lead with 37.5 seconds remaining as Detroit escaped with the win. Cunningham finished with 20 points, 11 rebounds, and a career-high 18 assists for his 6th triple-double of the season. "It's what my job is, it's what my responsibility is," Cunningham said. "I just try to give it up for my teammates. Growing up, that's what I always dreamt of, being a guy that could do everything." Malik Beasley made 7 three-pointers on the way to a team-high 28 points to help the Pistons withstand Butler's triple-double of 35 points, 19 rebounds, and 10 assists. Butler added 4 steals and a blocked shot, but Miami failed to gain ground in the Eastern Conference led by the Cleveland Cavaliers, who improved their league-best record to 23-4 with a lopsided 130-101 victory over the Nets in Brooklyn. Evan Mobley scored 21 points to lead 7 Cavs players who scored in double figures. In Sacramento, reigning NBA Most Valuable Player Jokic scored 20 points with 14 rebounds and 13 assists for the Nuggets, who came out on top in a frantic finish that featured 7 lead changes in the last 1:15. Jamal Murray led the Nuggets with 28 points, sealing the win with a pull-up basket off an assist from Jokic with 8.6 seconds remaining. Sacramento's De'Aaron Fox scored 29 points, Domantas Sabonis added 28 and Malik Monk scored 25 for the Kings, who trailed by as many as 23 in the first half but led 103-96 going into the fourth quarter. The short-handed Philadelphia 76ers, fueled by 40 points from Tyrese Maxey and 33 from Paul George, spoiled the return from injury of Hornets star LaMelo Ball with a 121-108 victory in Charlotte. Ball, who was averaging 31.1 points per game when he strained his calf on November 27, returned to action with 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 11 assists. Miles Bridges led Charlotte's scoring with 24 points, but the 76ers led virtually all the way despite the absence of star center Joel Embiid and Rookie of the Year contender Jared McCain. The Sixers said Monday that Embiid would miss at least a week after suffering a sinus fracture on Saturday, and McCain needs surgery on a torn meniscus. The Chicago Bulls won a close one in Toronto. Nikola Vucevic scored 24 points to lead the Bulls, which had 7 players score in double digits. That included Josh Giddey, who scored 11 points with 9 rebounds and 8 assists before departing after twisting his right ankle in the third quarter. R.J. Barrett scored 32 points and Grady Dick chipped in 27 for Toronto, but the Raptors came up short in their bid to erase a 16-point deficit in the fourth quarter. NBA rumors, Jimmy Butler, Warriors trade gets dealt reality check by NBA insider. Any potential Miami Heat forward Jimmy Butler trade to the Golden State Warriors was shut down by NBA insider Tim Bontemps. He explained on the Hoop Collective podcast how, from a financial and practical perspective, the trade doesn't make sense. If you're doing that trade right, the most likely money in the trade is Dennis Schroeder, who they just got for $13 million and is expiring, Bontemps said. Andrew Wiggins, who is owed around $27 million a year the next couple years, then $28 and $30 million the next 2 years. Then probably Jonathan Kuminga in the deal, who is in the last year of the deal and is going to be expecting to get a hefty raise as a restricted free agent this summer. If Miami makes that trade, they're going to be in the luxury tax if they retain Jonathan Kuminga in 6 months. That is going to be a difficult sell. Kuminga has been a prized possession that the Heat could see as a pivotal piece to their future. Despite head coach Eric Spoelstra dismissing any Butler trade rumors, it's hard to play through. After all, Butler dyed his hair all the colors of teams that were interested in him. Not to mention, taking back Kuminga would put the Heat in some salary cap trouble. They'll hit the luxury tax threshold if they trade for the Warriors forward and resign him. After he didn't receive a contract extension this summer, he'll likely look for a big price tag. A Jimmy Butler trade between the Heat and the Warriors has questions. Related Miami Heat news article continues below. Butler is 35 years old and is averaging 18.6 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 4.7 assists. On the other hand, Kuminga is 22 years old and is averaging 15.4 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 2 assists. The numbers aren't that different. The Warriors would have to decide if they want to give up on Kuminga. While their roles are different, Butler likely has more years behind him than in front of him. For Kuminga, the inverse is likely. Still, Bontemps doesn't see a move happening between the Heat and the Warriors anytime soon. I don't think this one is happening until the deadline for all the reasons we've talked about, Bontemps said. It feels like if anything is going to happen, it's going to be at the last minute because you're just going to have to jump through so many hoops to get it done that you're going to exhaust all other options first. The Butler trade saga will continue as long as the season lasts or until he gets traded. Either way, many teams have expressed their interest in the All-Star forward. While Miami is taking phone calls about all offers, they'll need to weigh out everything before a decision is made. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.